The Puck Portfolio with Andy MacNeil.
Hey, welcome to the Puck Portfolio. I'm your host, Andy MacNeil. I'm here on weekdays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcast to provide NHL projections, picks, betting advice, strategies, and more to help you make informed bets throughout the NHL season. Couple rocking chair winners last night. The Habs skating out to an early 3-0 lead over the Capitals, and that resulted in them sitting back a little bit and allowing Dylan Strome a chance to generate a ton of shots. He cruised over his 2.5 shot on goal total plus 140. So roughly 1.7 units on the night. Pretty good return. I'm going to call it a break-even investment on the Oilers winning streak. So I bet on Edmonton finishing with over 31.5 shots on goal. Darnell Nurse thankfully got the 30-second shot with about 30 seconds left in the game. Of course, the Oilers lost that one, so that plus 150 prop that we bet earlier in the week, or I should say last week, plus 160 actually, on the Oilers reaching that 18-plus game mark in terms of their winning streak, setting the record for the longest winning streak in NHL history. They did not accomplish that. So, yeah, break even on those two props and call it good. So yeah, a couple of rocking chair winners. Happy with that. Going to get right into the picks here because I want to get this one out of the way right away. I'm a little bit surprised that it's kind of still sticking around here, but the Lightning at plus 112 at NorthStar Bets. Of course, this show is sponsored by NorthStar Bets, good old Canadian sportsbook. You can check them out via the link in the description below. But yeah, I'm going to lock in the Lightning for 0.75 units at plus 112. And that price is available, like I said, at NorthStar Bets. That's where, I guess I would make it a bit of half unit play at around plus 108 ish. But yeah, plus 112 is good for a 3/4 unit play here on the Lightning to win 0.84 units. So get that out of the way because that's going to be my only bet for Wednesday's 3-game schedule. Of course, we've got the Dallas Stars there in Toronto taking on the Maple Leafs. And obviously, the Lightning are in New York taking on the Rangers. One of the big reasons here why I'm playing the Lightning at plus 112 is that I originally had Igor Shesterkin penciled in to start in goal. Had the New York Rangers as around a minus 120 favorite. But due to the fact that Jonathan Quick is going to start on Wednesday against the Lightning, I am comfortable taking the plus 112 here. Now, I think the Rangers should be a minus 103 favorite, according to the model, with Jonathan Quick in goal. But there's still a little bit of uncertainty here because the Lightning are playing in Long Island tomorrow. They're playing the Islanders, so obviously a tough goaltending matchup there with a likely Ilya Sorokin likely in the crease for the Isles. So maybe Andrei Vasilevsky gets the night off and gets the start on Thursday, but I suspect he'll start in this one more often than not. So yeah, Rangers still a small favorite. If Vasilevsky is confirmed as the starting goaltender, things will shift a little bit more towards the Lightning here. But I am anticipating that he will be in goal. So yeah, Lightning 0.75 units on the money line at plus 112 to win 0.84 units. And then the final game we've got on Wednesday is Minnesota. They're in Chicago taking on the Blackhawks. No value on this one by the looks of things. So yeah, nothing of note there. Special guest yesterday, Michael Leboff from the Action Network's Line Change podcast. He liked the Habs as well, so that was a winner for Leboff. But he also liked the Flyers. They got the win over the Panthers. I'm trying to recall what else he was touting on Tuesday's show, but he had a couple of dogs hit, that's for sure. And last night the dogs were barking. That is for sure. So the road teams too did well last night, except the Edmonton Oilers because yeah, they lost 3-1 to the Vegas Golden Knights. Of course, lots of focus on that game because they had a chance to tie the record for the longest winning streak in NHL history. That record still belongs to the Pittsburgh Penguins, 1992-93 Pittsburgh Penguins, as they've got 17 wins in a row. So no new record, and yeah, unfortunately, we won't get to watch Edmonton try to destroy Anaheim for that record on Friday night, although they probably will still destroy the Anaheim Ducks. But anyway, thanks for joining the show. Appreciate you. Drop a like on the video if you have not already. Drop a subscription to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel if you have not already. Jake, what's going on, man? What you think of the Habs performance last night?
Yeah, it was a little bit surprising. They came out flying in the first period. The first line was reunited. Uri Slafkovsky back on the first line. I think that he had kind of gone to the second line, played with Sean Monahan to maybe polish Sean Monahan's look up while trying to shop him. The Monahan Slafkovsky line was actually the Habs' best line while they played there, which was a brief maybe 2 weeks. But back with Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield, and they look great. They got 4 out of their 5 goals last night, and kind of carried the ship there.
Yeah, yeah, they did. They did look great. Washington, on the other hand, they look pretty bad because we uh, talked about it on Tuesday's show about how Montreal has been, really getting caved in defensively lately. They rank dead last in shots against per 60, expected goals per 60 minutes over the last month or more, and Washington was not really able to cave the Canadians in at any point last night. Yeah, pretty bad performance by the Capitals. Their playoff odds, which you can find at canadasportsbetting.ca. I tweeted out this morning, so you can check out the updated 2023-24 projected standings. Plus, we've got or playoff chances as well. So the Capitals' playoff chances after last night's loss to the Montreal Canadiens fell to 3%. So not looking good for Washington. They've got a tough stretch coming up. They've got games against the Bruins and the Panthers. Yeah, they could be out of it really quick. I mean, they are pretty much out of it already. But yeah, could kind of seal the deal here over the next week or so if Washington doesn't get it right. And I kind of doubt they will. I mean, it's going to be tough. So yeah, looking ahead to Thursday's games. Not a huge slate on Thursday. We've only got 7 games, which is definitely light for a Thursday. We've got 3 more games on Friday, so it looks like we'll be waiting until the weekend to get lots and lots of hockey action. Kind of a slow start out of the All-Star break here, but yeah, looking ahead here, the Carolina Hurricanes. I've got the hat on today. I like them to beat the Colorado Avalanche. Of course, the Avalanche dropped a 5-3 decision to the New Jersey Devils. It was the second half of a back-to-back. This will be their third game in 4 nights on Thursday. The Hurricanes, they've been really, really good as of late. And I mean, they're leading the league right now, or not leading the league, but they're close. They're at 58.9% expected goals percentage in all situations since January 1st. They've scored 58.2% of the goals. The Avalanche, I mean, they're a lot closer to a break-even hockey team than the Hurricanes are, that's for sure. A 51.5% expected goals percentage, but of course they've still been outscoring teams by about a half a goal per 60 minutes. They're scoring 4 goals per 60 minutes. So that could cause some trouble for the Hurricanes, who are scoring almost a full goal fewer than the Avalanche on a per 60-minute basis. I'm not making a good case for the Hurricanes right now, that's for sure. And the fact that they haven't really been able to beat this Avalanche team in the last few years. Since 2020, they've lost 5 out of the last 6 matchups, 4 straight losses to the Avalanche. They've already lost to the Avalanche this season. So, yeah, time for the Hurricanes to get back in the win column here. The model thinks that they should be priced as around a minus 130 favorite, and you can bet them at minus 120 at NorthStar Bets right now. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Just going to kind of double check here to see what my stake will be. Minus 129. We've got minus 120 here. I can justify risking enough to win 3/4 of a unit. So that's what I'm going to do on the Hurricanes, minus 120. Not sure if Andrei Svechnikov's going to be back in the lineup. Of course, he is practicing. He was in a yellow non-contact jersey at Tuesday's practice, so he wasn't in last night's game. But Maybe he's close, and maybe that could be a little bit of hidden value there in this one. But yeah, minus 120 at NorthStar Bets is the current price, and I am going to bet almost zero point 0.9 units to win 3/4 of a unit here on the Carolina Hurricanes. And that's going to be my best bet for Thursday's, like I said, 7-game NHL slate. The other one that I'm probably going to bet here is the Florida Panthers. You can get them anywhere from minus 200 up to the minus 213. That's available at NorthStar Bets. I really don't like giving out those kind of plays, and there is value here. I mean, look, the model has the Panthers as a minus 264 favorite. Talked about how bad the Capitals have been. Um, so yeah, I might do something with this. I guess it's up to you if you want to, but I mean, which it always is. Nobody's forcing you to tail my bets, that's for sure. But um, kind of don't want to set that precedence on the puck portfolio where we lay these big prices because we've been doing so good all season long, taking underdogs. Yeah, do we really want to add this one to the puck portfolio? To the puck portfolio? I don't know, but there is some value here for sure, and there's a lot of value. DraftKings opening up at minus 230. Hell, screw it. Betting on the Panthers to get back in the win column, minus 213 to win 1 unit. We can afford it. We've had a good season. Up around the 20 unit mark, double digit ROI. We're doing all right. So yeah, locking in 2 bets. I didn't want to do it. I know people are gonna give me shit if it loses, but value is value. Don't listen to the squares that tell you that there is no value betting on big favorites because sometimes there is. And while, look, there's a big difference between betting, minus 200, minus 213, and betting, minus 245 or something like that, or minus 250, which I could very well see this price getting to based on, we're seeing DraftKings open up at minus 230. And at that point, like, that's when you really have to say, like, okay, this is something I'm going to steer clear of. The market has already, done its thing. But if we can get in before the market, kind of maybe, corrects this inefficiency, because there is an inefficiency here. The Florida Panthers are better than minus 213 in a matchup at home against the Washington Capitals. And I expect that this price will not last very long. So there's a big difference. If you can get in front of the market on a I guess a traditional kind of buy high spot, because you are betting on a Washington Cap or betting against the Washington Capitals team, um, kind of at their low point here. Everybody knows they suck. This is not a surprise to anybody to see Florida as a big favorite, but I think if you can get out in front of the market, that's different than buying in on the Florida Panthers at minus 250 tomorrow or something like that. So I guess consider that, and uh, you know, make your own choice as always. Just bet responsibly. I'm not doing the Kelly Criterion thing. I don't want to raise my initial stake, although that is the proper way to do things if you're trying to build your bankroll. I just want to give out the best edges and the best bets that I can, and yeah. So the Panthers, I mean, they're the best team in the NHL in a lot of ways, but for whatever reason, they have stumbled at various points throughout the season, despite having very, very consistent underlying metrics. Jake, we got anything going on in the chat?
No, chat's a little quiet today. If you guys have any questions or comments, please let us know. But yeah, a little bit of a quiet Wednesday today.
Yeah. So obviously there was a bit of an initial move towards the Rangers on Wednesday. The Rangers were up in the minus 130s, but yeah, with this news that Jonathan Quick is going to start, that looks like that is not going to be the case anymore. So let's see if this one's still sticking around. If you weren't here at the top of the show, I added a 3/4 unit bet on the Tampa Bay Lightning at plus 112. Those are the current odds at NorthStar Bets. Just going to see if they are still still around or not, because things tend to move at this time in the day. And yeah, they're still around. So if you got access to NorthStar Bets, you can hit up the Tampa Bay Lightning on the money line. And for Thursday, looking ahead to Thursday, going to talk a little bit more about Thursday's games here, but just getting it out of the way, I bet on the Carolina Hurricanes at -120 to win 3/4 of a unit, and the Florida Panthers. I know some of you won't like this, but -2 now it's -215 at NorthStar Bets. Still like it at that price. -215. I bet -213 to win 1 unit. Uh, Florida Panthers over the Washington Capitals. So yeah, like I mean, do you think the floor? So right off the hop here, obviously both teams coming in a little bit rusty. Uh, into Tuesday's night's game. I mean, the Flyers and the Panthers. The Panthers open around -210, and I think it's pretty clear that the Flyers are a much better team, even with Samuel Urson, whatever. It doesn't matter about the goaltending right now. Um, the Flyers are a better team than the Washington Capitals. So right on, immediately. Um, you should kind of look at this one and think, well, Florida should be a bigger favorite here. They should not be -215 against the Washington Capitals, who are objectively worse than the Philadelphia Flyers. So that's one way to almost originate your own odds a little bit, but I don't think that's one is going to stick around. So elsewhere, we've got the Calgary Flames. They are in New Jersey taking on the Devils. The model thinks the Devils should be a smaller favorite, around -120. So no value on either side. Of course, I think that there's, a little bit of anticipation here that Jack Hughes will be returning to the lineup sooner rather than later, maybe as soon as Thursday against the Flames. So that's something to consider. But with the straddle already kind of pushing the Devils up to the -137 range here at North Star Bets. Well, Jack Hughes is worth, somewhere around 20 cents or more, or definitely, actually, he's worth more than that in my opinion. But I'm not sure that by the time the news comes out, if he is going to play, that it will be, there will be enough time and enough room to capitalize on it. If the Devils are already a -145 favorite or something like that, then yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be able to really capitalize on whether on him playing if that is the case. Now, if the Devils are, let's say tomorrow morning, the Devils are up around -145, and we find out that Jack Hughes is playing, and now the Devils end up being pushed up to somewhere around -175 or -180 or something like that. Something like where the Bruins were when they hosted the Flames on Tuesday. In that scenario, I'd look to fade the whole Jack Hughes movement and play the Flames, as counterintuitive as it would seem. You kind of got to hold your nose and bet against the public consensus there, because I can almost guarantee you that the Devils' odds of winning will be very much inflated if that's the case. So we'll revisit that strategy on tomorrow's show. Hopefully by then we'll have a little bit of news on whether or not Jack Hughes is going to be in the Devils lineup. And a big matchup between the Vancouver Canucks and the Boston Bruins. The Bruins looked absolutely brutal against the Flames um, on Tuesday. And I mean, they've been kind of winning. They've been hot for a long time, pretty much all season long. But there have been some chinks in the armor, if you've been watching the Boston Bruins. And I've been kind of skeptical of them all season long, and I would not be surprised if things started to turn south for them at some point. They've looked better, I will say that. They, like, in the later months, they've had better underlying metrics, but um I just, I do kind of, I look at the team, you look at the roster on paper, and you just think, when is this going to kind of fall apart for this team? Um, and that's, kind of being propped up by, one, their goaltending, and two, they're some guys that you wouldn't expect them to be propping them up. So, I yeah, I'm a little bit skeptical of the Boston Bruins, based on some of the opening prices, like North Star's opening price. Actually, it wasn't North Star. Some of the other books that opened earlier on this game, I thought I might have a play on the Canucks, but now Vancouver plus 110 at NorthStar Bets. The Boston Bruins minus 132. As you can see, the model has Boston as a minus 117 favorite. So if at any point Vancouver gets up into the plus 125 range, at that point, I'll probably strike on the Canucks, assuming that Demko is in goal. But yeah, Elias Lindholm looked great in his Vancouver Canucks debut. He potted the pair, and his trade counterpart, Andrei Kuzmenko, managed to score his first goal in his Flames debut. So pretty interesting night all around. The Winnipeg Jets in Philadelphia taking on the Flyers. Talked a little bit about the Flyers and about how I think there's, you know, talked to Lieboff on yesterday's show about how there's probably some potential for some buy low spots here on this Philadelphia team. He was adamant that the buy low spot was Tuesday in Florida, and he was right. But unfortunately, I didn't tail him on that one. Was closer to the Panthers, and I'm kicking my ass for it. So here against the Jets, who got shut out 3-0 by the Pittsburgh Penguins on Tuesday in Pittsburgh. They're a minus 132 favorite against the Philadelphia Flyers, according to the model. Of course, that assumes that Connor Hellebuck will be in goal and also assumes that Samuel Urson will be in goal for the Philadelphia Flyers. At some point, we're probably going to see some other names get in the crease for the Flyers here now that he's the main guy. But yeah, I would need the Flyers to get up into the plus one, higher plus 130 range, and not sure that's going to happen given the Jets' lack of offense lately. But Winnipeg is healthier than they've been in several weeks now. So yeah, look out for the Jets, I guess. And then that pretty much does it. I guess the only other game is the Vegas Golden Knights and the Arizona Coyotes. NorthStar Bets has Vegas minus 152. The Arizona Coyotes coming back on the other side at plus 125. Basically, kind of right on either side of my projection, which is minus 139 in favor of the Vegas Golden Knights. Yeah. Once again, guys, if you have not already, please drop a like on the video. Helps out a ton. Please subscribe to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel. That also helps out a ton. Colorado has no answer in goal, Jeff says in the chat. And yeah, I mean, it's been a thing all season long. Georgiev kind of overvalued. Let's see what we got here for the Colorado goaltenders. Yeah, basically average. So I mean, not bad by any means, but yeah, neither goaltender is going to give them a lift. Georgiev has played 42 games. He's saved 1.5 goals above expected. So that is, through the lens of shot quality, through the lens of evolving hockey's expected goals model, which assigns a weight to each shot based on location, shot type, etc. And then basically assigns a probability to that shot as it relates to its likelihood of becoming a goal. Now you look at goals saved above average, another statistic that has Georgiev minus 6.8 goals saved above average. So not as generous when you look at that statistic, but yeah. So 3 bets locked in. Hopefully to keep the winning times rolling here in February. January was a pretty good month. Kind of got off to or kind of get out to a really great start and sort of tapered off at the end of the month. But yeah. So that is pretty much it for today's episode. Usually would be a little bit longer, but yeah, we don't got as much hockey to talk about here. With just 7 games on Thursday. Usually there's anywhere from 10 to 12 games on a Thursday, 9 to 12 games, I should say, but a little lighter this time around. Light schedule on Friday, but Of course, we will be back tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll have some movement in the odds on the games that we didn't play, and maybe get some action, some more action in on Thursday's games. But yeah, you guys know what I do here. I lay out my projections pretty much at the same time the sports books do, and I'm gonna bet accordingly. So you kind of know where I'll be at tomorrow, but obviously things will change, and we will continue to look for some betting value here. So thanks for joining the show. Appreciate you. Appreciate Jake doing a great job producing.
Thank you.
And Jake's takes is out now, right, Jake?
It is. It is. Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs. I'm going with the dynasty maker game this Sunday. Them winning and sort of solidifying their place in history. And I'm going against Kyle Shanahan's track record in the Super Bowl, which has not been pretty thus far. This is only the fourth ever coaching rematch in the Super Bowl, and no coach has ever won the rematch after losing the initial match. So I'm sort of banking on Kyle Shanahan to fail again in the Super Bowl, and for Mahomes and Kelsey and company to kind of get that big dynasty game under their belt.
It's in the script, man.
It is. It is. I mean, if it's if there was ever a season where the NFL is scripted, is sort of trending in the average sports fan's mind, it's this one.
Yeah, for sure. And 13, right? Taylor Swift's favorite number, all the signs. It's you know, if you add, if you add Super Bowl, it's Super Bowl 58. If you add 5 plus 8, 13. Taylor Swift's favorite number is 13. If you take 100 and subtract Travis Kelsey's number, it's 13. The signs are all here. They're pointing to the Chiefs winning by 13 points in the Super Bowl. All right, you got to cut me off here. I'm just talking nonsense. Obviously, riddled with sarcasm here, but yeah, I am. One thing I'm working on today is compiling some data on rest stats, because I think that'll be helpful for people. I know that's a question all the time: is how do you weight back to back? How do you weight this? How do you weight that? So I'm going to try to dive into a little bit more into that, either the end of the week here or early next week. But yeah, that's something I've been working on. Obviously, we're well over the halfway mark of the NHL regular season, and we've got some data now. We've got over 700 games. There are just a little over 500 games left to handicap and bet on here in the regular season, so we're officially in the stretch run, that's for sure. But yeah, we've got a lot of hockey left to handicap and potentially bet on, and then of course the Stanley Cup playoffs, that's coming up soon as well. It'll be here before you know it. The trade deadline just a month away. The playoffs, a little bit more than a month after that. So yeah, April 18th, the end of the regular season, coming up quick. Thanks for watching the show. We will see you on Thursday. Good luck.